Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this lecture we'll be dealing specifically about accountability and ethical governance. So in this lecture we'll be looking about accountability and ethical governance, different institutions of accountability, types of accountability and their importance, Indian initiatives to strengthen the ethical framework and the challenges to the ethical governance. So let's look into ethical governance, accountability and ethical governance. So what is accountability? So it is in public service. Accountability in public service involves individuals and organizations taking responsibility for their actions and decisions and being answerable to the stakeholders. Like if you are an IAS officer or an IPS officer or whatever public servant you might be, you must be responsible for your decision. Just because you are an officer, you cannot just imply some random rule and make people follow that. That's wrong. So you have to be answerable to stakeholders. That is public people in this case. So what happens is it ensures the transparency and responsiveness to the needs of the public. That is needs of the citizens within the public service context. A public service official or an organization which is related to public service should interest mainly on the public interest and not for personal gains. That is something accountability on public service. Moving on to the different institutions for accountability. Judiciary. Courts hold public servants accountable for actions violating the law. Ombudsman, an independent official investigation complaints against public officials or institutions, and also they are empowered to investigate, report and recommend actions which can address the maladministration. In the Indian context we can say Lokpal at the center and the Lokyuktas in the states. So these are ombudsman system. Anti-corruption agencies like entities like Vigilance Commission, CBI, Enforcement Directorate, these all investigate and prosecute the corruption cases by public servants. Auditing agencies like in the PPT it's not given properly, so let me give it. Bodies like the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG, like they examine the government finances, holding public servants accountable for financial regularities. Like in the CAG in 2010, found out the irregularities in the allocation of 2G spectrum licenses, which led to the cancellation and legal action, cancellation of licenses and legal action. So independent commissions like Human Rights, Election Commission, Public Service Commission, they all investigate the complaints and ensure accountability within their respective areas of responsibility. See, a good example you can cite is Election Commission of India. Like it upholds the accountability by overseeing the electoral process, investigating complaints of electoral malpractice, and implementing the electoral reforms to strengthen the transparency and public trust in the democratic process. That is something which uh, Election Commission of India does. So these are different institutions for accountability. Moving on to the types of accountability. See, in a democratic society, accountability is very much needed. Like individuals, as we discussed earlier, individuals who are in power are responsible for their actions, and it prevents corruption, abuse of power, and ensures the fairness and transparency in governance. And also, at the same time, it builds public trust and confidence among the government institutions. Like there are two different types of accountability, that is horizontal and vertical. See, horizontal accountability, it involves the checks and balances among different branches or levels of government, and prevents any one branch or level from becoming too powerful. Like we have checks and balances between legislature, executive, and judiciary in the Indian context. So that is something um, a horizontal accountability takes place. And in this case, we can also add one more example, like the independence of judiciary in India allows it to strike down the unconstitutional laws. Adding on to that, the vertical accountability holds government officials accountable to citizens and civil society organizations, like electoral processes, public participation laws, and access to information laws. See, it promotes citizens' engagement in policy making and public oversight of government programs. Like example, you can call it RTA Act of 2005, which ensures citizens access to public information, which again ensures the transparency and accountability in the government process. So moving on to the next, we can look into the Indian initiatives to strengthen the ethical framework. Accountability to parliament. See, administrators are answer to the political executives who are accountable to the parliament. So that is something, accountability to the parliament, like administrator, the executives, I mean officers, IAS officers are answerable to the politicians, and those ministers, politicians are responsible to the answerable to the accountable to the parliament. That is important Indian initiative. Code of conduct for ministers. Prescribed code of conduct ensures that ethical behavior among the ministers, like committee of ethics oversees the conduct of the members of the parliament. Disclosure of interest. Members must declare personal, pecuniary, or direct interests on a matter. Like disclosure is provided in both houses of parliament. Code of conduct for civil servants. Like prescribed code of conduct prevents the private interests of a civil servant influencing the government decisions, which again brings in confidence among the citizens. Moving on to the legal mechanism, like Prevention of Corruption Act, Right to Information Act, Lokpal and Lokyuktas Act, Whistleblowers Protection Act. So these all are few legal mechanisms which helps in strengthening the ethical framework of India. Now, what are the challenges? Specialized knowledge. Bureaucrats possess expertise that makes oversight difficult. See, they have expertise in something, but just because they have expertise, they do not look into what's under it, and they just follow whatever they know. Lack of coordination, like absence of overnight oversight institutions like the Office of Government Ethics. No, there's no Office of Government Ethics in Indian scenario. That makes it difficult. Orthodoxy loyalty. Subordinates may hesitate to question superiors, hindering accountability. Yes. So I have a superior and I hesitate to question him on certain aspects, uh, as it might affect my promotion, my work, job in there. Those things we have to face as a challenge. Excessive security measures, like Official Secrets Act, limit the transparency. So that's something, excessive security measures. Corruption, like practices like speed money and scandals, undermine the accountability. Technological overemphasis. See, human values are neglected in decision making. So, like as we discussed earlier, elderly couple may not have enough documents, and an officer can provide the same uh, to get pension or what it may be. But the technological emphasis, human values are neglected in the process of decision making, and over reliance on command models, like top down management fails to deliver effectively results effectively. Like I do whatever my boss says, and I just do not do anything other than says. That hierarchy brings in problem. So this is all about accountability and ethical governance. Hope you guys understood this concept. um, if you have any doubts, kindly do bring it in the comment section and we will clear it as soon as possible. Keep watching the series, ethics series lecture, and we'll resume with the next topic soon. Thank you.